if I were wanting to get Trump, and if I were a partisan Democrat, I would be looking to Jack Smith's investigation, who has Mar-a-Lago and January 6th, because this is a terribly weak indictment on many fronts.
It seems the whole case is on shaky legal ground. There are many issues here, including federal authority versus state authority in the case, statute of limitations. The previous New York DA, Cyrus Vance, as you know, did not pursue an indictment. Neither did the DOJ. So sort this out for us. Why Alvin Bragg? Why now? What's going on here?
He's got 7 years since the event, so he has to prove that Trump was continuously out of the state for 2 years. I don't think he can do that, so I think the statute of limitations probably has expired. Secondly, and you point out, he is alleging that the second crime is a federal crime, not a state crime. It's unclear under the New York law whether you can charge a federal crime as the second crime, but even if you can, the federal crime he's alleging is one that the feds have already said was not a crime. And as a matter of fact, the feds have adamantly said just the opposite in the John Edwards prosecution. In the John Edwards prosecution, John Edwards used campaign funds to pay off his mistress, to hush her up. Trump is alleged to have paid hush money to a mistress to hush her up, but he did not use campaign funds, nor should he have.
Trump also said this is the weaponization of our justice system. Now, you've written 2 books about Watergate. We haven't seen the targeting of a president or former U.S. president since Richard Nixon was chased from office. So how does this compare to then?
Well, in many ways, it's even worse than what they did to Nixon, because at least when they got Nixon, who did not really know what was going on, he was clearly on tape in a fairly minor crime, but nonetheless, he obstructed justice. And so there's no getting around that. Now, probably the hype surrounding President Nixon generated by the Post was enough for political opinion to get him out of there. And I think most of the public had the wrong context about Watergate. But nonetheless, it worked. And nonetheless, Nixon was guilty of at least one crime. In this case, Trump's not guilty of a crime. That's the difference. And I don't think that anyone looks good that's going to be bringing this case because it's so weak. Now, if I am Jack Smith, the special counsel on Mar-a-Lago and January 6th, I would be very upset because this looks like such a political witch hunt and political prosecution that it will taint whatever Jack Smith does.
We've already seen, at least reportedly, that Trump's raised a lot of money on this. How do you think all of this will flesh out and affect Trump's campaign and the country's political future?
Well, I think it probably in the short run will help Trump. It will certainly help him in the primaries. I'm not so sure the middle of the road is thrilled with more drama from Trump. They don't like it, even if he doesn't cause it. They sort of blame him for it. So I think this probably hurts him the middle of the road, and that's why they're doing it. It will strengthen him to get the nomination. It will strengthen him against DeSantis, his main opposition. But all in all, it is not good for our system at all because it just shows us to be a banana republic. And I think the public is really getting sick of this. How the public will take Trump after this is an open question, is what I would say. Will it, on balance, will the sympathy that he engenders here, will that help him, as opposed to the fact that, after all, he did pay off a mistress? That's not a great fact. And also there's drama surrounding him. And perhaps he handles this, he's handling this a bit bumptiously, you know, when he had the baseball bat ad and so forth. I think a lot of Republicans who are on Trump's side say, look, cut down the rhetoric that looks like it's violent rhetoric and let the sympathy come naturally to you.
Okay, we'll see how it all fleshes out. The book is The Mysteries of Watergate, What Really Happened. Legal analyst John O'Connor, we thank you for sharing your time and insights. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Good talking to you.